So that night Polynesia tiptoed up the stairs till she came to the king's bedroom. The queen was away at a dance that night, but the king was in bed, fast asleep. Polynesia crept in very softly and got under the bed. Then she coughed, just the way Dr. Dolittle used to cough, and the king sat up wide awake and said, "Who's that?" "I am Dr. Dolittle," said the parrot, just the way the doctor would have said it. "What are you doing in my bedroom? How dare you get out of prison? Where are you? I don't see you." "Of course you cannot see me. I have made myself invisible. There is nothing I cannot do. If you do not let me and my animals travel through your kingdom, I will make you and all your people sick like the monkeys." Then the king began to tremble and was very much afraid, and he jumped out of bed and ran to tell the soldier to open the prison door. But the queen saw the parrot getting out, and when the king came back to bed, she told him what she had seen. Queen Ermintrude had never in her life seen her husband so terrible as he got that night. He threw his toothbrush at the palace cat. He woke up his army man and sent him into the jungle to catch the doctor. But the doctor and his animals had been making for the land of the monkeys as fast as they could go. Before they could get there, they came to a ravine filled with thorns. How were they ever going to get across? But a big monkey cried out, "Boys, a bridge, quick! They've got the captain loose, and he's coming on like a deer." The monkeys, quick as a flash, made themselves into a bridge just by holding hands and feet. And the big one shouted to the doctor, walk over, all of you, hurry!" Kitten was a bit scared, but she got over all right, and so did all of them. The king's man shook his fist and yelled with rage, for he saw it was too late. The bridge was pulled across to the other side. John Dolittle now became dreadfully, awfully busy. He found hundreds and thousands of monkeys sick, so he sent messages to the other animals to come help. But the leader of the lions was a very proud creature. "Do you dare to ask me, the king of beasts, to wait on a lot of dirty monkeys? Why, I wouldn't even eat them." Then the lion told his wife quite proudly just what he had said to the doctor. "You never did have a grain of sense," she screamed. "Nobody but a fool is ever rude to a good doctor. Go back to that white man at once and tell him you're sorry. Take the other empty-headed animals with you." And now, very soon, the monkeys began to get better. Then the doctor's work was done, and he was so tired he went to bed and slept for 3 days without even turning over. Then John Dolittle told the monkeys that he must now go back to Puddleby, and that night all the monkeys got together in the jungle to talk it over. And the chief chimpanzee said, "Why is it the good man is going away? Is he not happy here with us?" Then the grand gorilla said, "I think we should ask him to stay." Then Chi-Chi said to the other monkeys, "He owes money in Puddleby. He says he must go back and pay it." And a little tiny green monkey who was hanging up in a tree shouted down, "Let us give him a present." "If you want to please him," Chi-Chi said, "give him an animal. You may be sure he will be kind to it." They asked, "Has he a push-me-pull-you?" Then Chi-Chi said, "No, no white man has ever seen a push-me-pull-you. Let us give him that." Push-me-pull-yous are now extinct. That means there aren't any more. They had no tail, a head at each end, and sharp horns on each head. They were very shy and terribly hard to catch. "This, doctor," said Chi-Chi, "is the push-me-pull-you, the rarest animal of the African jungles, the only two-headed beast in the world. Take him home with you, and your fortune's made. People will pay any money to see him." Then, when the party was over, the doctor and his pet started out to go back to the seashore, and all the monkeys went with him to see him off. Then the push-me-pull-you, the kitten, Dab-Dab, and Jip went on the ship with the doctor. But Chi-Chi, Polynesia, and the crocodile stayed behind, because Africa was their proper home, the land where they were born. Sailing homeward, the doctor's ship had to pass the coast of Barbary. It is a wild, lonely place, all sand and stones, and it was here that the Barbary pirates lived. Presently, Dab-Dab saw the sail of another ship a long way behind them on the edge of the sea. "I don't like the look of that sail," said Dab-Dab. And presently the doctor saw an island. When the ship had sailed safely into the bay, he told all the animals to get out too, and romp on the grass to stretch their legs. Now as they were getting off, the doctor noticed that a whole lot of snakes were leaving the ship as well. You know, of course, that all ships have snakes in them, Doctor, do you not?" "I thought that was rats," said the doctor. "You see any rats around here?" "People. And you have heard that snakes always leave a sinking ship?" "Yes," said the doctor, "so I've been told." "We've come to tell you that we are leaving this one. Before tomorrow night it will sink to the bottom of the sea." "But how do you know?" asked the doctor. "We always know. The tips of our tails get that tingly feeling. Goodbye. We are going now to look for a good place to live on this island." "Goodbye," said the doctor, "and thank you very much for coming to tell me." A little while later, when they all had plenty to eat and drink, and were lying on their backs while the canaries sang for them, a penguin came hurrying up, very flustered and excited. "Doctor," she cried, "the pirates have come into the bay, and they've all got onto your ship." "Ha ha! You are caught, my fine friend. You are not a good enough sailor to beat Ben Ali, the Barbary dragon." But presently something seemed to go wrong with the pirates. They stopped laughing and cracking jokes. They looked puzzled. Something was making them uneasy. "Thunder and lightning, men! The boat's leaking!" And they saw that the boat was indeed getting lower and lower in the water. The bad men were left bobbing about in the deep water of the bay. Then suddenly they all cried out in great fear, "The sharks! The sharks are coming! Help! Help! The sharks! The sharks!" And one great shark came to the shore, and pulling himself out of the water, he said to the doctor, "Are you John Dolittle, the famous animal doctor?" "Yes," said Dr. Dolittle, "that is my name." "Well," said the shark, "we know these pirates to be a bad lot, especially Ben Ali. We will gladly eat them up for you." "Thank you," said the doctor, "but I don't think it will be necessary to eat them. Please make Ben Ali swim over." "You have been a very bad man. These good sharks here have just offered to eat you up for me, but if you promise to do as I tell you, I will let you go in safety. You must give up being a pirate altogether." "But what shall I do then? How shall I live?" "You and all your men must go on to this island and be bird farmers." The Barbary dragon turned pale with anger. "Grow bird seed?" "The shark is waiting. Make up your mind." "Thunder and lightning," Ben Ali muttered. "Bird seed." "Very well," he said sadly. "We'll be farmers." Having thanked the sharks again for their kindness, Doctor and his pet set off once more on their journey home in the swift ship with the red sails. The June sun was shining on the pleasant fields when Dr. Dolittle at last got back to his own country. But he did not yet go home to Puddleby. First he went traveling through the land with the Push-Me-Pull-You. Very soon the doctor was able to give up being a showman, and one fine day, when the hollyhocks were in full bloom, he came back to Puddleby a rich man, to live in the little house with the big garden. And the doctor went and saw the sailor who had lent him the boat, and he bought 2 new ships for him. And he paid the grocer for the food she had lent him for the journey to Africa. And when the winter came again, and the snow flew against the kitchen window, the doctor and his animals would sit round the big warm fire after supper, and he would read aloud to them out of his books. But far away in Africa, where the monkeys chattered in the palm trees before they went to bed under the big yellow moon, they would say to one another, "I wonder what the good man's doing now. Do you think he will ever come back?" And Polynesia would squeak out from the vines, I think he will. I guess he will. I hope he will. And then the crocodile would grunt up at them from the black mud of the river. I'm sure he will. Go to sleep.